Hi everyone, I'm Lori Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here. I'm here because I want to talk about my experiences being the mother of a very young transgender child. I think this is an important topic. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. There are a lot of people who are getting very angry when people like myself talk about having a transgender child. And so I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time because I think it's important to share personal stories and take the politics out of the subject of how I'm raising my child. And so I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've been really scared actually to start making videos because I know that I'm opening myself up to a ton of abuse and harassment. And that is exactly why I feel like I just have to do it now, because I think things are getting so much worse for families like mine. So my son began the transition about 6 years ago. And at the time, there was a lot of, things in the media, things in social media, where people would say things that were unkind, but it's worse now than it was back then. And so instead of making progress, things are just getting more intense and more difficult for families like my family. So please stick around. I have so much to share. I have so many things that I want to tell you and talk about with you because I just think it really, really matters to have these conversations. So my goals are, number one, most importantly, I want to be able to help other families who have a child who is beginning to transition or may need to transition. Because when I first understood that my child needed to transition, there were other parents who were further along the journey than I was, and they offered a ton of emotional support and helped me understand things that I didn't know yet. And that community really made me feel much safer, and it just helped so much. So I want to provide that for people. I want other people to know that they are not alone. This is a very scary time to have your child transitioning, but I also think more children are transitioning because we're talking about it more. So the more we have these conversations, the more we understand about children being transgender and children who know who they are at a very young age, I think the better. And I'm not saying that we should push this on people or force kids to transition, but sometimes you just know who your kid is, and your child definitely knows who they are. So more on that in a little bit, but I do want to help families who are where I was 6 years ago. And then the other thing is there is so much misinformation out there. And it's really scary. And so I would like to share our experiences and a lot of what I've learned along the way, particularly about my child and our journey, but also just from other people who are experiencing the same thing, because now I have found myself in this community of other parents, and we talk to each other and we share a lot. And so I feel like I have been opened up in such a big way, and I understand things differently. And so I hope that I can help just get rid of some of that misinformation. And, I would like to just end the stigma. I mean, there's not, people think this is such a big deal and such a terrible thing, and people judge so much, but these are literally just children who know who they are and need some support, and that's it. So I would like to help end the stigma. Things that I'm not here to do, right? So those are my goals. What I'm not here to do is I don't think that I could change anybody's mind. I'm not trying to change how anybody feels about this subject, but I know that there are some people who are a little bit unsure of how they feel, or they're hearing kind of all the bad stuff from the media, but maybe in their heart they know that there's more to the story. So I will share more to our story that may help you understand. So I know that I can't change people's minds. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'm just trying to give more information about something that my family has been through and that I've been learning about. So hopefully I can help in that way. And I'm not calling out any individual people. That's the other thing I'm not here to do. So I will be sharing comments that I get on Facebook, things that people have said to me in the media, in social media, and I will definitely be showing you some of those comments, but I'm not showing you these comments, to provoke people or to try to make people angry. I just need you to see what's been said to me so that you can understand a little more. And most importantly, I just need to say, I am not part of the LGBTQ community. I'm here as a mother. I'm here to talk about what happened with my son, the experience that I had before and during his transition. and how I've grown through that experience, and I'll share some of the, the painful parts as well, but I don't speak for anyone in that community, and I cannot possibly do that. I don't know how it feels to be transgender, and I don't speak for anyone else. I just want to talk about what I have experienced and what it has felt like and what I know to be true. And so, those are my goals. That's what I hope for. Just so that you get a better idea, a little bit of our story, I'll tell you that my son began the process of transitioning right before he turned 6 years old. He was 5 when we started to help him socially transition. And I will tell you so much more about that at some point. But one of the biggest pieces of misinformation that's really damaging and really dangerous are when people think that a child at that age is getting hormone therapy or surgery. There is no way that any of that is happening. A social transition is when you help the child to change their appearance in a way that matches the gender that they are. So for example, with my child, he had very long hair before his social transition. So the biggest part of his transition was just cutting his hair really short, letting him pick a hairstyle that felt good to him. And that was the most amazing day. I cried a lot because it was the start of the transition and I had a lot of big feelings about it. But his face, for the first time in a long time, was really full of joy. So literally it was a haircut. Not anything damaging, not anything you wouldn't do to a child on a regular basis. So that was the biggest part of his transition. We also bought him clothes that he felt more comfortable in. We painted his room. It was like yellow and pink when he was a baby. We painted his room blue. We bought new blankets, bedding, new decorative items for his room. And then we started to call him Michael instead of the name that he was given at birth. And we used he, him pronouns. And that's it. So when people talk about a child transitioning and people get really upset or really angry about it, I have a lot more to say, but like when you think about that, those things are not so bad, right? And I promise you that it made him so much happier. So I hope that you will join me in my next video where I will tell a little bit more about his transition, how I knew he was trans, and how we figured out what he needed. So please stick around. Please come back for my next video. I hope that I can be some help in just putting a face and a name to this. And Michael will be joining me for some videos as well. He has things that he wants to share, things that he wants you to know about him and his experiences. So I hope that you come back. All right. Thank you.